So you need to disrupt yourself or be disrupted. We all know the Kodak story, yeah? Who do you think invented digital photography? Kodak did. And they created it and were then, oh shit, let's just ignore this for a little bit because it's going to hurt our main revenue stream. And they just waited. They milked it. And then other people developed it, and then that's their first decline. And then the iPhone era just was, left hook and then massive right uppercut. It's like Street Fighter, Hadouken, but yeah, sorry, yeah. So, and then, yeah. And this is a picture from Peter Diamandis, and I think it's amazing. So this is all photos taken, and the yellow one is analog. And it's just worse now. And by the way, go back to 1996, Kodak had 140,000 employees and a $28 billion market cap in 1996 money. It's nuts. And so and there's no change here. There are so many, dozens of multi-billion dollar business owners or CEOs, the C-suite, sat there thinking, I'm never going to be disrupted. Like, we've got billions of dollars and staff, and they're not learning from Kodak or Blockbuster, and they're going to get hurt. Blockbuster could have bought out Netflix, easy. They could have coughed some money and bought Netflix, but they didn't. And they're paying the price as a result. In fact, sometimes the C-suite don't even care, because as long as they get their $100 million bonuses every year, they don't really care about the 10-year growth of their business, because they didn't start it from scratch. So how much discomfort are you willing to endure to remain relevant? So I think Jeff Bezos of Amazon, is a prime example of being willing to experience discomfort to ensure longevity. So go back a few years, he dominated the online book market, yeah? And then he saw electronic ink come around and was like, oh, okay, so I'm going to be disrupted here. So he then he invested millions into developing the Kindle. He made sure everyone had the Kindle, and then boom, he owns the electronic book reading market. And I think if I was Bezos, or he must be thinking this right now, if a simple Norwich bloke like me can figure this out, 3D printing is going to destroy Amazon's business. So if I was him, I would be putting billions into home 3D printers. I would get and release the Amazon 3D printer, and put them in every home, so it's as popular as a microwave. And then what will happen is that, because millennials, we love instant gratification. So when I want to buy a hammer, not that I ever have, I can simply go to the Amazon site, download the schematics, and print the hammer in minutes, instead of waiting a whole day. I mean, that's archaic, right? Yeah, that's what I would do. So don't be surprised if you see the Amazon 3D printer. The Saudis are taking note as well. The Saudis, they've owned the energy network for decades. Well, they've just set up the world's biggest solar fund, $200 billion. There's a few hiccups, but right now that farm is producing the cheapest energy on the planet ever, cheaper than any oil has ever been produced. So it's interesting what's going to happen here. So they know that they're in trouble, so they're pivoting. Don't be afraid to pivot. And so we've got an interesting situation here. We have the old guard, which are the banks, being disrupted by the Fintech boys. But the thing is, the tech fin companies are going, everyone's ripe for disruption. They're just lobbing dynamite into the water, using tech like cryptos, etc. So, I mean, Bitcoin is a very flawed technology in many ways, but someone just moved $194 million in under an hour for 10 cents. If I was a business owner and I wanted to buy out a competitor and I needed to move, say, $5 million pounds cross borders, it would cost me anywhere between £25,000 to £50,000 in fees. That's nuts. If a bank wanted to move $10 billion, it would cost them millions, when they can do it for free with existing tech right now. So the question is, are you going to stand or surf? And also, are you going to surf on a surfboard, or are you going to surf on a jet ski? Or even better, create new tech and get a helicopter. I don't know. But you have to understand, you really need to understand millennials. And millennials expect instant gratification, instant support. We effortless UX. If your website doesn't load instantly, if you don't have, your user experience isn't good, you're going to lose custom. And you need transparency. Those businesses which are transparent and they show how you're making your money, they're getting more business. Friction is a killer for money. If you do not want friction between point of sale, between vendor and buyer. So yeah, it has to be effortless. And when did you last hear someone saying, I'm really enjoying my banking experience? Because they're not doing any of this. So what should a business owner do? I've scared you, I may have scared some of you. So here's what you could do, okay? My time is up now. Keep informed on tech progression. So as an investor, you need a very clear focus. You need to know your thing. So for me, it's trading and investing, but you have to know a little bit about a lot. So I've got this nice fuzzy peripheral vision of everything. So I know enough so that if there is a bullet heading towards my basket or my businesses, I can pivot before it hits me. Use 20% of your funds in R&D right now. In fact, who here is a content provider that teaches courses or training or consultancy? We have a few here. Right, you need to own the VR and AR space like as soon as you can. When VR matures in terms of the tech and we get a VR goggles the size of swimming goggles without massive cords, that's a whole new virgin landscape to own. So like YouTube is cool, but who are the stars of YouTube? It's the content providers. You need to basically 3D print or image yourself so you can then basically beam to your client, hologram or whatever, and teach that way. So that's an industry you can get into. Amazon, E.ON, one of the world's biggest energy companies, they're also pivoting. I don't have time to go into that. Happy to chat afterwards. Insulate yourself now from whether it be war or a market crash. Again, a big topic. I'd love to go into this. What about exiting? Is it worth crystallizing your blood, sweat, tears, talent, and time now? And then maybe rebuying your business for a bargain in 5 years' time or 3 years' time. Just maybe exiting and getting 6, 7, 8 figures right now and just sitting on your hands for a bit and then reflecting. You can either then upscale, up-level yourself and do the next thing, something that really moves you, or you'll be surprised what having 6 figures land in your bank does. It just lifts a lot of weights off your shoulder. Red card drills. Okay, so I used to be a pilot in the Air Force, and one thing that we always did was that you had certain red card drills. So if you had a double engine failure, let's say, that's a scary situation. Never had that. But there are certain drills which you had to know off the top of your head, like boom, boom. What you don't want to do is go, right, let's get the cards out. Right, click this button. Okay, you're dead by the time that happens. I guess in the SF, you had your versions of red card drills. You need that in business. An example could be the internet's bust. What do? Don't dick about. Go to Costa. I don't know. Just go somewhere. You need a fire. Your building burns down. How long is it going to take until you're operational again? And don't forget the basics. So many businesses forget the basics. And the basics, in my opinion, are knowing your 3 main metrics. So the 3 main metrics are, well, all businesses need leads, right? Or customers. How do you get customers? You need leads. And then you have a conversion rate. So that equals customers. Okay. Second one is customers times the amount of times they deal with you times average sale value or order value or client value equals your revenue. And then revenue times net margin is money in your bank. So the basics of business are controlling and owning the things that you can control. So you can control, for example, your conversion rate, the amount of transactions they do per year, the average sale value. And when you start controlling these things, it puts everything to the bottom line. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm going to fast forward. So here, if you just uplift a few things, let's say 10%, it's going to uplift your bottom line by 59.72%. And when you look at CRO, conversion rate optimization, changing a metric by 100% is easy. So let's say you have a click-through rate on a website. Let's say your click-through rate is, 0.2%. Dreadful. Well, if you increase that to 0.4%, that doesn't seem that much, does it? That's still a 100% increase. And little 100% increases like that in your marketing and other things like that all add up to the bottom line. So I'm going to end this here with, it's not all doom and gloom. There is sun in somewhere. It's somewhere. It's right over there in the distance. You just got to swim there. Yeah. The thing is, the last 20 years is going to be, the next 20 years are going to be completely alien to what we've been through over the last 20 years. Humans naturally think in linear terms when the whole world is in exponential growth or decline. So it is literally going to be it's going to be crazy. Like the tech we're going to have over the next 10 years, we probably won't even dream that they can exist right now. And so I do not believe we are going to end up in a world of Mad Max. I don't. I just think the next 5 years are going to be painful in many different facets. But eventually, I do think it's going to look more like this. In fact, even today, we have parts of the world that look like that and parts of the world that look like that. But I am abundantly hopeful for the future. You have to thank the millennials for that, obviously. So yeah, my name is Siam Kidd. Thank you very much for your time.